Hello everyone and welcome. This is Shannon, owner of Shrush Design. So in this video I want to do kind of a reintroduction of who I am. I have some new followers that I just gained at the end of last year, 2023. It's now 2024. And this is Assistant Chaz. Sometimes you'll see him pop up on my videos. Not usually the Procreate ones, but if you don't see him, you'll probably hear him because he likes to meow now. He's very vocal. So again, I want to do kind of a reintroduction of who I am and what this channel is for, especially for the people that just started following me. Kind of a reassessment of last year and how things went, and then kind of my goals for this year on the channel. So to get started, again, I am Shannon. I own the brand Shrush Design. It is a local company to southeastern Wisconsin as well, but I do obviously this YouTube, and I have some other stuff that's available much further than that. But my local stuff is southeastern Wisconsin, so technically I'm in between Milwaukee and Waukesha area. And what I do is I consider myself a lettering artist. I do dabble in illustration. I'm not that great at it. I can do lettering pretty well most of the time, depending on what kind. As far as illustration goes, like, I'm getting better, and I think I will continue to improve the more practice I do, but I don't consider myself that type of artist. I am more of a lettering artist. So what I do with my lettering is like signage, murals, window murals, wall murals. I haven't done any yet, but like more like free form murals. I plan on doing stuff like that. And other signage, like I said, for weddings or for businesses or just home decor or like personal gifts that you're giving someone or something like that. Things like invitations and stationery, stickers, calendars, that kind of thing. And I do this mainly for weddings and other events, businesses, and then like home and personal, like I said. Those are my three main categories that I sell to, even though, I could possibly do other things as well. But that is what my local business and sometimes my online business as well. So on this channel, I do a lot of teaching how to do those things, a lot of signage and murals and stuff like that, incorporating some of the graphic design things that I've learned. Now, I'm not classically trained as an artist or a graphic designer. I'm self-taught, so I don't always have, the technical background that, you may be looking for if you are interested in that sort of thing. Just warning you. I'm still learning things myself, but I have improved over the years. And I basically started in 2018-ish. So I was getting married in January 2019, which I'm coming up on 5 years on that, my husband and I. But 2018, right before my wedding, I started learning this kind of stuff like lettering and some of the design stuff to make some stuff for my wedding, which was the goal. And I was always interested in it, but I never had delved into it much until like mid 2018, early 2018, I guess, into mid. And ever since then, I've just been practicing and expanding my skills to different things like large scale, again, signage, murals, and all kinds of things like that. And it's something that I want to kind of bridge the gap for people who are more of a crafter or hobbyist and are kind of interested in those things to get more professional. So that's kind of what I view my role is here on YouTube. Now, I also started teaching something that's sort of related, and I do use since 2018, but it's not something that's exactly related. So it's kind of like I do two different things on this channel, which has been okay in some regards, in some regards it's not. But I did start teaching the app Procreate, which is for an iPad. Assistant Chaz is very vocal right now. And I did that late last year. I'm going to get to that when I go over my review of last year. But when I get to that in the review of last year, I'll talk more about it, but I did start doing Procreate videos as well. So I know a lot of the people that have subscribed to me have come from that. I know a big chunk of you have come from that. And I'm trying to keep, you with tutorials that you want that are Procreate related. But this channel really started out being more of a signage, mural, design, physical kind of thing, where I sometimes use Procreate to help me. But since a lot of people caught on to the Procreate thing, I decided, well, I can start teaching, Procreate a little better, more in-depth tutorials about all the different topics on it, which I have done. I've gone through basically the whole app, done a very deep dive in all of those things. I started doing more quick videos at the end of last year before the holidays about Procreate, and I'm going to continue that. That's my plan. And I also have some longer Procreate projects like that kind of incorporate a lot of the things I've taught already that are more, not exactly beginner, they're more intermediate friendly. So I'm trying to get those out as well. So that is a goal for this year. I'm getting kind of ahead of myself. I was going to do that later, but I just wanted to say that there's something I'm planning to do on this channel. It's something I have kind of done already. If you're aware, Procreate does have a new app out. It's called Procreate Dreams. I did download it myself, buy it and download it. I've looked at it very briefly. I haven't even started really learning how to use it myself. I haven't had time. So I am planning on learning how to use that better and then planning on teaching that as well. So if you are interested in it, eventually I will have stuff about that on this channel, but you'll probably find more information from other people right now. But that's kind of all about like making movies and animations with your drawings. Whereas the regular Procreate app does have animation to it, and I have started teaching that on my channel last year. And I'm going to continue teaching on the normal app this year as well, and possibly also Dreams. So basically what you have to look forward to on this channel is a lot of physical projects like that, where I do signage and the window murals I did, like for instance, the last couple weeks I've been doing holiday window murals. I do those. I have done also a wall mural in my house. I did it in 2 parts. Second part was last year, which I'll get to in the review. I'm hoping to, do that outside of my own house to other businesses or homes. Again, I like doing lettering based stuff, not necessarily like I can do a little bit of illustration, depends on, what exactly that person wants, but I plan on doing more mural type stuff, hopefully professionally out in the world this year. It's one of my goals. Now I have done an intro video. I did it November. So I started this channel September of 2022, the very end, right before Halloween season. And after Halloween season that year, one of my first videos I did that wasn't Halloween related was an intro that I did, an intro to the channel that I did back then. That video, I'm going to link so you can watch it. I'm not going to go over all of that today, like all those stories I told in that video. But if you do watch it, I just want to warn you that there were things I had planned for the future back then that didn't really come to fruition, but they're still on my goal list, which I'm going to get to. And they should be happening very soon now, even though I wanted them to happen soon then, but that never happened. So if you do watch that video, I just want to warn you, you're going to be like, what? That never happened. So, but if you do want more of a in-depth intro about who I am and, the things I did before I started this channel, that'll be the video to watch, and I'll link that. But again, the short version of that, I started talking about this. 2018, I started learning lettering and making signs and stuff like that. And I've just been, improving ever since and learning new techniques that I want to teach other people and learning, graphic design in a certain sense as it relates to signage making and things like that. And those are things that I want to pass on the information for on this channel. And I do use Procreate sometimes to do that and for other things as well. So it's something I've been using since 2018 as well. And that is something that I feel like I can teach other people. So that's another thing that I'm going to do on this channel. Now, one of the things I mentioned in that intro video that didn't really happen yet is I was planning on making 2 other channels that kind of shoot off this one. This is the main one. So those, well, one of them I have kind of started. That is called Poised Pen Craft. So that is, and I will link that obviously, that is my lettering channel. So I'm going to start teaching lettering itself, and that's all that's going to I'm going to teach on that channel is just lettering. So when you see me do lettering projects on this channel, if you are interested in learning lettering, that's where you would go. And vice versa, obviously, if you see my lettering channel first and you want to learn how to apply your lettering to other things, that's where you would come here. So they're kind of related. Then the other channel I want to make, and I haven't started this one yet, is Shrush Design Weddings, which is all about it. I actually changed it a little bit. So in the beginning, what I wanted it to be was like more of a planning wedding channel, because that's where I started, is where I started learning wedding planning. That's what I originally wanted to do with my business. Now I do more of design and signage and stuff like that related to weddings and other things. But I had kind of like the background, and I did learn a lot of the planning stuff as far as wedding goes. So that's part of what I want to do on that channel, but also I'm going to kind of move all of my wedding related decor, signage, even murals, I guess, invitations, things like that onto that channel. So it's going to be specific for weddings, although even some of the wedding stuff you can apply to other things. It's obviously other events, but also business type stuff or home decor type stuff. Like, it's not just weddings necessarily, but it's going to be the focus of that channel, is like all my wedding projects and things to do there. I haven't started that one yet, but I do want to start it very soon. So again, it's in my plan to start it. It was my plan over a year ago too, and it just never happened yet. So again, if you go back to that first intro video, that's what I was talking about. So I did start the lettering channel, sort of. I got a short up on YouTube, but I am going to have more videos than that on there soon, very soon. Like I have taken the step to start that one, and I am trying to take the step to start the wedding one as well. So those 3 channels are where you can find me on YouTube as far as my business goes. So those 3 channels that I talked about, Shrush Design, that's this one, Shrush Design Weddings, which is going to be wedding related, and Poised Pen Craft, which is going to be lettering related, are the ones that I run for my business. So if you're interested in any of those things, one or more, feel free to subscribe to any of them, and I will have them linked in the description and the pinned comment and things like that. I try to keep all that updated. So that is that. One thing I'm going to mention, that because I'm not going to do a normal intro for this video that I normally put out, because it has all the information I'm talking about anyway. But one thing I have in that intro that I haven't talked about yet is I had started a couple months ago a free course that you can take that goes along with my YouTube videos. It's meant to be a companion to them, and it's mostly helpful with my Procreate videos. However, some of the other videos as well, you get a little bit more. You get a transcript for one thing with timestamps and where you can find everything, and you get sometimes you get something to kind of print out if you need it. Depends on what the video is about, or like things that you can do for extra practice. Or when I'm doing the Procreate stuff, like sometimes there's a project file that goes along with it. So if you're going to follow along, you can download the project file. That will help you as you follow along with my video. So I am working on getting, because I started it, I don't remember what month it was, I think September, with the videos I was putting out then, and I've tried since then to keep it updated with the videos I've uploaded, especially the Procreate ones. But I need to go back and do all of the, especially Procreate ones and other videos that I've done. Some of the videos might only have a transcript because there's not really anything else I can put up there, but depends on the topic. But it's meant to, be as a guide to my videos and something you can print out where you don't have to sit and take notes yourself, you know. So that's what that is, and it's free. You just sign up with your email address. I do technically get you hooked through there on an email list, and I don't plan on using that list for like, you know, weekly marketing or anything like that. It would be more like an announcement, like, hey, there's a big update. I finally finished all the Procreate videos, you know, now they're finally on the course kind of thing, where I'd send out an email to help you with that. But I'm not gonna like spam you with emails. It's completely free. You don't have to like be worried about signing up for a list or anything like that. So that is that. I'll mention it since it's kind of related, even though I'll probably talk about it more in my review of 2023. But I also made a course, and these are both through Teachable. If you've ever encountered that in anything else that you've done. This one is something you would pay for. I started a course on holiday window painting or murals or whatever you want to call them, as something I know a lot of people are interested in. I mean, technically you can take whatever you learn there and apply it to any holiday. It doesn't have to be like Christmas or the end of the year things, which are normally where people start. I actually started in Halloween myself. Learn how to paint on windows, like everything you need to know about it. I do kind of teach that on this channel, but you have to kind of sit through the entire video when you do that, where this is more direct. Also, it's like all the information is there. You get printables that can help you, you know, figure things out. And I'm teaching design skills as well while I'm doing this, and how to kind of make everything look cohesive and whatnot. I'm going to be adding more to it too, over the course of this year and probably future years. But you get templates to get you started with, you know, especially because some people aren't very good at lettering. Like I said, I have a lettering channel if you want to learn, but some people, like, they can paint like all kinds of things for the holidays, but when they do the lettering, they don't really know how to make it straight and stuff like that. So I do teach that in the course as well. Actually, I still have to put a little more in that about that, but I am getting to that very soon. But that is part of the course. So right now, I don't think it's going to go up anytime soon. The full price of that is $60, but I do have a discount code right now, and I will occasionally have another one. So whenever you're watching this, whenever you see this, check the description, or you can even just go to the course page. It'll be right on the course page before you, as long as you read all the information, you should find it. If there is a coupon code at the time, sometimes there isn't. But the one right now, I can tell you, if you're watching this as I'm releasing it, it goes through January 15th. It is Holiday Skills 24 altogether, and that will give you 25% off. So that goes until January 15th of 2024. So if you're looking to learn a new skill for the new year, that was one of your resolutions or your goals, that is something that you have available to you. And again, I'm going to be adding more and more to it. And eventually, depending on how much I add, I might, you know, raise the price of the course. So you want to get it ASAP if you are interested. So that is something that I figured I'd mention since I talked about the other course. I do have plan on having other courses as well as time goes on. I'm not sure how many this year is going to come out, but we'll see. So let's get to the review of 2023. All right, so I'm going to go over the major projects I did in 2023, and anything else I want to mention something about. Some of these I may review something I already said, or I may talk about things that I forgot to say in the video or whatever else. So let's get started on that. So the first major thing I did in January last year was in honor of my anniversary, which is coming up this year as well. I decided to look back at some of the projects I made for my wedding, or some of the things that I wanted to do and didn't do for my own wedding. And again, that was back in 2019, it was when we got married. Some of them I made in 2018. And basically kind of going over what I did or what I didn't do and wanted to do, and doing it now as someone who has developed my skills over the years, kind of improving things. And even the things I did last year, some of them I feel like I could improve on now, a year later. So, but one of the major things I did was a seating chart that was based on, my wedding guests that I had, even though I did change all the names. But it had the same number and the same families, like the last names were the same, even though they were fake technically. But the same number and the same configuration in each table. I just changed everyone's name. So with that project, it was basically the first seating chart I did. I did it on a mirror. Originally, when I made it last year, I had plans to kind of use the same names and the same number of tables and stuff and kind of do a couple different configurations on it to kind of show different options you had. And I actually probably will do that now on my wedding channel that I'm doing, Shrush Design Weddings. But I didn't get to it obviously on this channel at all last year. Oh, did I mention last year was nuts? If you were here during that, you know that I had lots of planned things that didn't go right. And part of that was because, well, I'll get there. But there were a bunch of things that happened that kind of threw off my schedule all out of whack. So this year I'm trying to be more disciplined about it, trying to get ahead of things so I'm not scrambling to make things. I'm trying to make my videos more helpful than they are, because a lot of them ended up being, oh, just watch me do this, because I don't have time to actually teach you what I'm doing. So I'm trying to be more tutorial based and have things, again, where I'm not scrambling to get them out. And I'm going to talk more about that in the goals. Let's not talk about that right now. So the seating chart overall, I don't really have anything to add to what I said in the video. It was the first one I did, basically the only one I did, I guess. I have done a few, without making a video about it, a few different, trying to come up with a few different options of, ways you could do it or whatever. So I will be talking about that again on my wedding channel, not here. But that was the first major project I had. And actually, I did skip over something now that I'm looking back. I did my first Procreate video right before I did all my wedding videos. And that video blew up. And a lot of you are here because of it. I wasn't expecting that, especially because it was so long, because I don't know if you noticed, but I tend to have this rambly thing where I keep going and going and going and going, and I think details are super important, so I have to include everything. And I also put, because of that, I don't know, I've never been diagnosed with anything, but I might have ADHD. I start telling a story and then I'm like, oh wait, but you need the backstory, and wait, you need to know this, and that's kind of how I am. So a lot of my videos end up being that way, especially when I'm sitting down talking like this. So again, I apologize if that bothers you, but the video that I made for Procreate was very long, over an hour, and I especially didn't think people would sit down and watch it and like it and be like, oh my god, I need to subscribe to your channel because this video is amazing. From that video, that surprised me very much. That being said, for some reason, YouTube has decided to stop pushing that video out to people. It was going so well, I was gaining lots and lots of subscribers from it, every week, even months later, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. And barely anyone sees that video anymore. And I will link it if you're interested. Maybe it'll start again. But I also wasn't planning from that video to start all of these Procreate videos that came out after it, but since I had such a response from it, I'm like, well, I could teach everything about Procreate, more in depth, which I did, which was my plan. But I have, from that first video, there aren't as many people that have, I think some of you have stayed, subscribed to me, but I'm not getting as much views on the other Procreate videos as much. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that video changed the direction of my channel very early on last year. And I did go briefly to what I had really planned, which was my wedding videos. And then I started doing my Procreate videos instead after that. And again, the ones I made after that started kind of dropping off in popularity. Again, my gestures one, which was my second one that I made, was still kind of popular, and I have 1,000 views on that one as of now. The rest of them are like in the hundreds or even less than that now. Like, and I went over like brushes and layers and all kinds of things. Like I went through the brush studio to show you how to make brushes on your own. I do, again, all this very in-depth, because I did want a very in-depth foundation for people before I start doing projects and and then being like, okay, you can reference the deep dive into that. That's what my original plan was with those. I'll talk more about this in the 2024 goals part of the video, but I am still going to make Procreate videos, put those out, trying to do it at least once per week on a different day than my normal videos. And we'll talk about that when we get there. Other than Procreate, one of the big projects I started working on in the spring was I was doing a spring window mural. And during the course of that project, a couple days into it, Assistant Chaz decided to run away from home, which was one of the things that really messed me up last year. We did eventually find him, obviously, you saw him earlier in the video, but he was gone for almost 9 days. At the time he was 16 years old, he's 17 now. But then after that, he had some issues, like I took him to the vet, and that's when we found out about the thyroid stuff and stuff like that. And then he had some issues with his leg, or his hip, as well, like a week after that. So that whole month I was knocked out, like April, just like dealing with my cat. That knocked me out off my schedule. And the mural, I kept trying to work on it over time, and by the time I was sort of finished with it, not quite, it was already almost not spring anymore. And I'm like, all right, never mind. I'm throwing in the towel. I literally throw a towel in the video. Like, this is how far I got in this mural, but it's not finished. You know, that was what I had to do with that video. And it was supposed to come out months before that. So that was one of the things that really got messed up last year. And I do plan on, at this point, trying to do something similar this year with a spring mural. And I do, well, let me get to this. So one of the other things I was doing in spring last year was I did a video on breaking down different spring quotes and trying to make signage out of them. So one of the quotes I had ended up being on my mural. So that was kind of one that I did. And then another one that I did ended up being, fast forward a little bit, during the summer I did a chalk art festival locally, and I used one of the quotes from that spring mural or spring quote video that I had for that. So I kind of did that one as well. I did one on the mural and one in the chalk art, but the rest of them I was going to do on signage and other things, maybe a mural or whatever. And I was going to release videos about that, and I never did because that all got, messed up too. So that is something I have planned for this year, is to finally finish that. I have, I had like 11, I think, quotes that I did on that video. I may even have more this year, I'm not sure. But those all I wanted to make signage out of. And I did start doing one on a signage, and I kind of filmed it, but I'm going to kind of redo it because it got messed up. So anyway, that's something I'm going to do. Again, I did a lot of Procreate stuff that wasn't Procreate related. I mentioned I did the chalk art festival. I didn't do like a full video about that. I don't think I'm going to do a full video about it, but I might do something where I talk about doing chalk art like that and then use it as an example. I have done other things, not like that, not really like a full like composition. Like I did for Halloween the last 2 years, I did do some chalk art out on my display out there that I do for trick or treat, but I didn't do something like a full like quote composition like I did at this chalk art festival. So I might this year or some other time again talk about doing chalk art and the kind of the materials I use and how to plan out again the lettering of it, because that's what I do. I may talk about that. I don't know if it's going to be a full video on its own. I'm not sure yet, but I do plan on doing something with that. I did release a clip about it. I didn't film the entire process because it was very hot that day and my phone was overheating. I did bring my iPad as well, and I did do some filming on that, and I did do some pictures from that, but I didn't have like a I was on my own and I didn't have like a full setup. Like I did bring my tripod and my camera, and I was able to get some of the process on video, but not the entire thing. So I wouldn't really be able to make a full video out of it, but I do plan on doing something with that footage to teach something, maybe even a few different things, like maybe like something about layout or like something about chalking or whatever else from that footage. But I did release a clip about that. I will link that as well. Another big video I did last year that I'm proud of, but not a lot of people saw, was I did a video about kind of an intro to doing large scale layouts and the tools I use. So again, I'm gonna link all these videos that I'm talking about. But I went over some of the tools and some of the methods I use on transferring like a sketch or a design onto like a much larger surface, like a bigger piece of signage, like a bigger chalkboard or something like that. I went over how to do all those things in that video. And again, I'm actually proud of that one, and I wish more people saw it. So I'm gonna link it. Highly recommended for me. Next major thing I did was I did a chalkboard mural. So in my studio, in my home studio, I rearranged my office studio a little bit, and I have a wall in there where I painted chalk paint and I can do chalkboard murals on. And I did plan on doing many more last year. And I did plan on doing also holiday ones specifically last year. I was gonna have a whole video about that. Didn't get to it, didn't have time. We'll talk about that when we get to December. We're not there yet. We're in like July, I think. But I do plan on doing more of those. I did do one very quickly for New Year's. I did release a short about that. What I plan on doing, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because I'm in the 2024s here, but I want to do one quote layout on the chalkboard per week. And I think I'm planning on releasing those as shorts on my YouTube channel and or reels on my social media channels, which again, if you want to see more from me, you should follow me there too. On all those other ones, I have those linked: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, those kind of things. But so I had made 2 quote layouts for a chalkboard mural video, and it was volume 1. I was hoping to get more out last year, planning to do more this year that are not related to the ones that I'm doing weekly. They'll have more of a theme to them. That's something I want to incorporate into my channel more this year, make more use of my wall. So then the next thing I did was I added to the wall mural I made downstairs in our basement pantry. So I did that technically, the first part of it in 2022. It was one of my first major projects on my channel that wasn't holiday or Halloween related. So I added to it. I can't decide whether or not I should have left it alone or if I like it better like this. I don't hate it now. I'm just not sure. But I added, which was my original plan, which is why I did it, I added some like drawings of food things around my lettering, and I also outlined the lettering in black. So I did kind of upgrade it. Obviously, I'll show you kind of some of the process here. I mean, the thing I'm most proud of is the lettering, obviously, and that's something I did on Procreate first. I came up with my layout for the lettering, which is good food, good mood. And it was my first time kind of taking that sketch and making it large on something that wasn't a window. Like it was challenging also because that space is so narrow down there that I couldn't, if I wanted to, I couldn't use a projector to project my lettering on there. I had to find some other way of doing it. And I was trying to do a chalk transfer, but it didn't quite work. And I wasn't really aware of some of the other things I could have done at the time. So what I ended up doing was, because I had blown up the design, printed it out, and then traced it on kind of tracing paper. And then I taped that up on the wall, and I tried to do a chalk transfer and it didn't work. And then because it didn't work, I started like cutting out the parts that I didn't need of the paper and kind of lifting the paper up and tracing where I needed to on the wall in order to get it up there. So it ended up being way more time consuming than it should have been to do that. But it was my first time doing something like that, so lesson learned. What I could have done is the pouncing method, which basically I have a pouncing wheel now where you kind of cut holes in your design on the paper, and then you use either chalk dust. I actually end up using a chalk marker most of the time to fill in the holes so that you have like a line, dotted line actually, where you know you need to trace to put your paint on. So that's something that would have sped up the process that I wasn't aware of at the time. And again, if it was in any other space, I probably could have used a projector to project my design onto the wall so I could trace it from there. But didn't have that option with that. So that's actually a 2022 project. My part 2, I did kind of more freehand. I chalked it on first, and then I went over it with paint, and then I kind of outlined it in black as well. And again, I can't really decide if I should have left it alone or not. I'm undecided. But anyway, that was one of my also major projects I did last year. Now we're getting into Halloween, so I did some Halloween chalkboard signage this year and mirror signage as well. I don't know if I have anything to say, like there was anything that is significant about that, but it is something I did. I did try to do some more Procreate stuff as well, Halloween related, which I wanted to do with the holidays. Didn't get to that. Did do another window mural this year, and this was the first one that didn't say Happy Halloween. I did the Black Cat Manor mural that I wanted to do in honor of both Assistant Chaz and Assistant Otto, who died shortly after I made my 2021 mural, which technically I didn't have a channel when I did that one, but I did film myself and I ended up releasing it on YouTube. I didn't plan on ever doing that, but I did. But I released it in 2022. So I have, back in 2022, if you look, I have my 2021 mural, then I have my 2022 mural on the windows. But then I did a part 2 because I had so much footage, and one of them was more of a deep dive, and then I compared it to my first one as well. So I had 3 videos in 2022 that were about my Halloween window murals. This year I only had 1. And then I had a bunch of miscellaneous projects for Halloween as well that I did in another video. Then I also, in November, started a new Procreate series because I went through all my deep dives on everything about Procreate that I was going to teach. There's a few things I didn't really touch on, but that's because I don't use them at all and I don't feel comfortable teaching them. Some of them I can't even do with my iPad because I don't have like the newest one. So I went through all my deep dives throughout the year. Then I started, and I'm going to continue this into 2024, I started a quick tips series on Procreate, which is quicker videos, trying to be 15 minutes or less. Actually trying to be 10 minutes or less, but I'm going to guarantee 15 or less on these. And I did, my first one though wasn't 20 or less. It was, I think it was like almost 45 minutes. That one was meant to be a shorter version of that intro video that I made that took off on YouTube. I was kind of trying to like grab some of that again with a shorter video, hoping that would happen, but not really. But anyway, I wanted to start the series that's a quicker, kind of going through most of the time one topic. Sometimes it can be a couple of related ones, but in a quicker way where I'm not like deep diving into it and talking about everything and talking about every scenario you might come across and like things like that. It's just kind of a quick, this is how you do this on Procreate. And then I kind of be like, well, if you want to learn more about this, you can go to my deep dive video, which is a lot longer and a lot more long-winded. And you know, if you really want a good explanation of what everything is, go watch that video. If you don't, here's a quick one. So I'm in the quick tips series. I'm starting that, and I plan on continuing that into 2024. I suspended that for the holidays because I knew I wasn't going to have time to release anything Procreate related. Well, not for that series. I originally wanted to do more Procreate related holiday videos last year, but I had to cut them because I couldn't possibly get there. Again, I'll talk about my December in a moment. It was nuts. But anyway, like right before Thanksgiving, I ended up hosting Thanksgiving at my house this year for my mom's side of the family. My grandma usually hosts it, and last year she had asked me to kind of take the torch from her because I'm basically the only one in that side of the family that can at my house. Point is, I did do Thanksgiving here at my house, and so I did some Thanksgiving signage. and fall related signage because I was gonna have people here. Otherwise, I don't really have things on my wall. I'm trying to do that during the rest of the year, but I don't. Maybe this year, we'll see. Maybe I'll have videos about it. But since I was having Thanksgiving here, I wanted to have some signage up and fall or Thanksgiving related. So I did do a video about those, and it was like the chalkboards that I usually make. And I did do those for the holidays as well this year, and I released shorts about all of them. And I was going to release them as a actual video, but I didn't get, that edited in time, and now it's after the holidays, so I don't know if I should. Okay, so the next thing was I did my holiday envelopes, which I did last year, so I came up with a few more designs that I used this year for my Christmas cards, holiday cards, whatever. So I only actually released 2 full videos about holiday stuff, and I wanted to do at least 4, like 1 for each week in December, and I wanted to do Procreate stuff, and I wanted to do a marathon video. I started talking about that in my other videos leading up to it, and I never got that compiled, but I do plan on doing that next year. We'll talk about that in a minute. In my 2024 goals part of the video, I only released 2 videos in December, 2 full videos. I did a lot of shorts, which is a lot where I did gain a lot of followers, recently from those, and I'm grateful if you're watching this video. Thank you. I wanted to release like 8 videos, 9 technically, it's almost 10, and I got 2 out. 2 out of that many. One of them was about my holiday envelopes, and one of them was about my holiday windows. But anyway, my December was a little crazy, and I knew it was going to be, and actually from like the end of September to the end of the year, I knew it was going to be busy, and I was trying to get ahead of all of that, including Halloween and Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that. I knew I was probably hosting Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving, and that was going to be like something that's going to take up my time. And I didn't expect to host Christmas this year on my dad's side of the family, but I was nominated again this year to do it. Just worked out that way. But since I hosted last year, I didn't think I'd be hosting again this year. I'm also on that side one of the only people that can do it. So I have an aunt who has actually the best house for hosting because she has a very open house, and she has a giant finished basement too. Other than the 2 of us, there's possibly one other person who can host but hasn't done it for a long time. So I was hoping that this year was not going to be like we were going to alternate, and I ended up being the host this year. So that was part of it. Also, I had a wedding to go to in the middle of December, which was on a Friday. And then that Saturday right after that, I had a holiday party with my husband's friends that we always go to. And I had to, we always bring a dish or whatever, so I had to do that. And trying to get all my holiday windows done. I also, almost was more busy, but I guess luckily I wasn't actually. I don't know. I can't decide if that's a good thing or not. I did kind of at the last minute decide to offer the holiday windows that I make in my local business, trying to, do that to businesses or residential homes that aren't my own home. So actually I ended up doing one other one. It was my parents' apartment. That was the sliding door that I released a short about, and as part of my holiday window video that I released, I put that at the end. But I was planning on, even when I initially was trying to plan out this time, I was planning on doing some of those. So that's why I was trying to get ahead of everything. And then when I didn't get ahead of everything, like back in Halloween, which I didn't even talk about that, I was kind of like, maybe I shouldn't try to do this year because I'm probably not going to have time. But then I decided the last minute, you know what, let's do it. But it was very last minute. So like most of the people who do that kind of window painting were like done at the point that I started doing it. So, it was like very early December. No one took me up on my offer. I didn't go out to the businesses and be like, hey, do you want me to do your windows? Which is something I might do this year. But I was hoping, I posted on a bunch of local social media stuff, does anyone want me to do their windows? Here's, I'm having a sale. This is the first year I'm doing this. So, and that didn't happen. Would have been, more things that I had done, but it would have been a little more worth it financially because I would have been paid for that. But Didn't happen this year. Hoping for next year and hoping for the holidays for next year, doing other things. So we'll see on that. But anyway, that was something I originally had planned. Then let me go back. So when I talked about September, the end of September, so we had a planned trip, my husband and I. Well, no, we had planned trip in May that we went on. And then September, we ended up getting invited to another wedding that was down in Mississippi. Again, we're in Wisconsin. His family, some of his family is down there. So it was a wedding for his cousin's daughter. We decided, because my husband had some vacation time to take, that he had to take before the end of the year or else he would lose it, we decided to make a vacation out of it. So it was kind of unplanned. Like, it wasn't really on the schedule, like, in my head while trying to plan out my videos. But I had enough time where I was like, okay, maybe I can get ahead before all this. And I didn't. And then it was right before October. And then right after I got home from my vacation with my husband, I went on another mini vacation with my parents. That was planned for a couple months. So I knew, again, that I wouldn't have all this time I was going to be out of the office or whatever and not being able to do anything. So again, I was trying to get ahead of all that. Then immediately after that was all the Halloween craziness. So again, I was trying to get ahead of that and I didn't. So I was doing it as it went. And then November I was trying to get ahead, but then because I was hosting Thanksgiving, that was part of it where I'm like, well, I have so much I have to do in my house and whatnot. And then I was hosting Christmas again. So I tried to get ahead of Christmas and couldn't. And, you know, that's why the end of my year was chaotic. And I'm hoping to get ahead more this year. And I do actually have some stuff, especially even the chalkboards I made this year, because I didn't release a video about those. Something that I can incorporate into videos next year. So I do have some footage that, I mean, I did release as shorts kind of with my chalkboards, but I have some footage that I can kind of work with next year in case I need some extra footage for videos or something like that. So at least I'm kind of ahead already with that. I do have some Halloween stuff too, actually. So, and some other odds and ends that I was doing with my holiday stuff that was going to be in my marathon video that I didn't have. So that's all that. Those were the major projects I did this year, or last year, 2023. So looking ahead this year, so a couple plans I have now. I mentioned my other channels. I have started the lettering one, like I said, and I do plan on from this week on, hopefully, if not next week, getting that regular videos out there about lettering. And then I'm hoping on getting my design, my wedding channel up this weekend, if not next weekend. And then I might have like an extra one during the week, maybe on Wednesday as well, because it's kind of halfway through. Because the videos here come out main on Wednesdays as well. So if you subscribe to both, you'll have both to watch on Wednesdays. The way this channel is structured, what I want to do is do, as I started out, a main video every week on Wednesday, and those will be mostly physical projects or design related things. Part of my issue, especially when things get crazy in my personal life, is a lot of the things that I make videos about are very time consuming to make, to film, and to edit, and to add to on top of editing. Like sometimes I have to add like information on the video, or I have to add voiceover or whatever else to the video while I'm editing it, to be able to make it like worthwhile for people to watch. And doing giant projects like that for almost every video is a little too much. So I want to limit myself to one giant project per month, possibly two if I can handle it. And then the rest of them be more focused on like recycling old content, but like teaching something new from it. Or a smaller project. That's what I plan on doing on my main Wednesday videos. And sometimes even I do have a review coming up on something my husband bought me for Christmas, which I asked for. AstroPad has a dartboard that you can use to hold your iPad while you're working. Very useful. Something I needed for sure, because assistant Chaz likes to take my spot on the couch, which is more comfortable for me to work in. He likes to take it up, and you can't move him because he's the king, because he's known as King Chaz on his social media. I haven't posted much of that lately either. Something I needed to help me if I'm sitting on the couch trying to work with my iPad. I was very looking forward to that. Also, the screen protector they have, which is called Rock Paper Pencil, is that what it's called? Which was appealing to me because there's a magnetic screen protector to it now, rather than something you stick on, which is something I never wanted to do on my iPad for many reasons. Anyway, I'll talk about that more in my review video that is coming soon on the channel. Not sure when, possibly next Wednesday, possibly Monday. We'll get to that. Wednesdays are my main videos about what this channel originally set out to do, was design related, signage and stuff like that. Fridays, and I kind of started this before the holidays got crazy, I plan on doing my Procreate stuff. So if you are here for Procreate stuff only, check out Fridays. That's when you should expect a Procreate video, and I do plan on doing at least one per week. That's what I'm committing to per week. However, I do plan on also possibly doing things on Mondays, but Mondays will be very quick, so it might be my quick tip video, Procreate. Some of those might happen on Friday as well. In fact, the next one coming out is 2 days from now, Friday. But Mondays I plan on doing quick, very 15 minutes or less, like I said, videos about one topic that I can kind of, if it's Procreate related, it'll be my quick tips videos. If it isn't, it'll be kind of a quick, here, this is the one thing I want to talk about, and here's a couple examples that I've done in the past or whatever kind of thing. Or I'll just whip up something real quick and it'll be a very quick video Mondays. I'm not guaranteeing that to happen every week. We'll see, because that's kind of a lot for me to get out every week, considering I couldn't handle doing 1 or 2 last year, but I'm trying to get ahead. But anyway, that's my plan. Those are my goals overall for the channel. I also want to get my other channels started, and some of those might be 2 per week. I'm probably going to start with 1 per week, but we're going to try to incorporate more into that. I don't plan on those being super involved, although some of the wedding projects might be. So that's probably where it would be once every once in a while I might do a big project on that channel just randomly. On the days that I'm not releasing anything, and I'm just talking about this channel here, this main Shrush Design channel, I want to release on the days that I don't have a main video or a Procreate video to put out. I want to put out some kind of short on the channel, as well as something on social media. Sometimes it'll come out the same day as I have a main video too. But along with YouTube, something I want to improve on with my other stuff, Instagram, whatnot, is getting stuff out more often, because it's kind of sporadic right now. And I did kind of start this at the end of this year with all my holiday content, which was easy then because I had a lot of things I was doing and I could make content out of. But when I don't have big projects I'm doing, it's hard to get something out every day. But I'm trying to keep that momentum going, because it has helped me a little bit. These algorithms are awful when you're first starting out. Once I get enough of a following, I think it might be easier, but right now it's very hard. And with those, I do have a lot of recycled stuff I can go through, even my Procreate stuff that I've done. Try to get more of a short version out there from that, out on my social media as well, or my YouTube shorts. So trying to get those out once per day, as long as I don't have a big video. Sometimes also if I have a big video. So that's another goal. And right now, so far, I'm doing good with that. Like I said, it was easier when I had all the holiday stuff to put out. That was much easier. But I think I kind of mentioned this. I do want to, with my chalkboard mural wall, I want to do once per week, like an inspirational quote or something that I letter out on my wall, and then make into a video from that. And just like once per week, just get one out every week. And something I could possibly film in advance too, and have ready to go once per week. Those are my basic goals for this year. We'll see how it goes. I had goals for last year too, and last year just blew apart. Hopefully nothing wrong with Assistant Chaz. But anyway, that is it for today. I'm not going to do my normal outro. I don't have any bonus footage or sneak peeks. I know that the next main video that's coming out is going to be my AstroPad review. And I have a Procreate quick tip video coming out soon as well. So once I get past that, I'll be able to do more of a sneak peek and whatnot, you know, for the coming weeks. So thanks for watching. See you next time.